Okay.
The defendant then got out of his vehicle. The DIMS does say he was promptly found.
I want to go in this county. Anywhere. Please. Don't kill someone. Take a seat. You call us, Judge. Really? Mr. Citizen, your car for driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be against you. You have the right to...
Notice what the officer observes. Odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, and poor balance. These are classic field indicators of intoxication. But here's the twist. The defendant refuses the sobriety tests and the breath sample. Smart move or major red flag? You decide.
County president, you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to use.
On March 7, 2025, officers responded to a possible intoxicated driver at 5696 block of Beach Street in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the defendant on scene, and the officer stated, while he was waiting at a red light, he observed a vehicle run through the red light. The officer got behind the vehicle and ran the license plate to make sure that it wasn't stolen. The vehicle swerved into the officer's lanes and almost struck the patrol vehicle. The officer then observed the vehicle swerved in and out of its lane and a traffic stop was initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant, who was the driver, and identified him by his Texas ID card. The officer observed an odor of an alcoholic beverage, watery, bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech. The defendant was detained and refused to answer any questions, including SOSTs. The officer attempted to read the DIC, but the defendant would not let him finish and refused. A blood warrant was signed.
Mr. Citizen, I'm going to find there's sufficient probable cause to go forward because C City had an ID, does he not have a Texas
He did
driver?
not have.
Mr. Citizen, you're not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond. If I find that you drive, it's really not going to go well for you. Unless you have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you're not allowed to drive. Any priority to the eyes, please.
No priority to the officer.
I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or prescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol and any kind of illegal drugs, likewise, I will revoke the bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to research your case to give you time to hire a lawyer, so I'll have you get a Ramona sign a reset. You will get with police your bond provisions, and then after that, you'll be free to go. I'm going to have you sign an affidavit promising you're not going to drive unless you have a Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. You understand?
I got them both, sir.
No, I just ran him right now. He was suspended as of February 12th, 2025 for no liability insurance.
No,
I sure need to go.
she has access to the DPS database for licenses. They're telling me it's not eligible. So until I see differently, then you just can't drive. You understand? So I'll have you sign this affidavit promising us you're not going to drive. I will have you get to Ramona, sign a reset, and then we'll get you out of here. Okay? What do you got?
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to lower situation. I can go to the jail and have him sign.
Just log your hours. You know what I mean?
The judge is skeptical, and rightfully so. If the key witness, the so-called unknown person, fled the scene, how can anyone prove what really happened? This is the kind of legal gray area that can make or break a case in court.
You wanted him to come here personally.
I don't care. It's fine. Just log your hours so that you can pay. You're in the out of time. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. I'll sign it. Don't worry about it.
Also, he's been from the PTI program. We are waiting on the supervision order, but I was wondering if it would be possible for you to admonish him today.
Admonish what?
Admonish him.
Do you have everything so they can follow the supervision order?
I think so. I sent an email to the PTA program to double check, but it looks like everything's in. The only thing that I see is that it looks like the defendant had applied for an ODL. I'm not sure whether or not
Hey, he doesn't have a license.
I think he told me he does have the license from the opposition.
Can you look to see if it's eligible?
And I can call him up and double check.
No, I don't remember. I got enough drama. So, I mean, you can tell whether he's got a license or not. If he doesn't have a license, he's going to have to get a portable device, and he's going to have to sign another driving affidavit.
I think we might be waiting.
What does he have now?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything at the moment. He said he needs to get the.
Okay, yeah.
Examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization, you give up the right to appeal. Three days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. Both of you give up many rights.
Wow, listen to the judge here. You can feel his frustration boiling over.
I'll make you a deal. If you do well, if you test negative, and if you're nice to everybody, if you get your classes done quick, I'll take you off in half the time. So you could literally be done with this thing in 3 months if you really kick butt, work hard, do well, and most of all, just be nice to everybody. If you can do that, you'll be out quick. And you get it done. All right? Good luck to you, man. Thanks, gentlemen.
Do you want
Shoot for Jose Estrada. So you were charged with driving while intoxicated. 6 months in jail.
Here comes a key condition. The judge bans the defendant from driving without a valid license or insurance. Seems basic, right? But this kind of restriction is what keeps repeat DUI offenders off the road, at least in theory. What do you think? Is that enough of a deterrent?
And a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. You can afford one. One will be afforded to you, sir.
On March 3rd, 2025, officer observed the defendant making multiple lane changes without a signal and observed him traveling at a high rate of speed. The officer had to travel 80 miles per hour in a 60 to 70 miles per hour zone to catch up with the defendant. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer was advised that the officer observed the defendant inside the front driving seat of the vehicle with the engine running. The defendant stated that he came home from a party at his friend's house. The officer observed the defendant have bloodshot eyes, an odor of alcohol emanating from his person, as well as slurred speech. After the tests were conducted, it was a 6 out of 6 on the HGN, a 2 out of 8 on the walk-in turn, and a 1 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant refused to give a sample, so a blood warrant was signed.
Well, Mr. Stroud, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward in case. Any priority WIs and does he have a license?
No prior DWIs, he does have a license.
Okay. Mr. Stroud, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? Would you like to do that? You need a lawyer. You're facing 6 months in jail, right? So, do you have the ability, or would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer? I can have you fill out an application. I'll look to see whether you qualify, and then we'll go from there. I'll have you fill out, or I'll have you sign a receipt with Ramona. We'll have you get with Felicia for your bond conditions, then Deputy Miranda will give you an application.
Different case, same lesson. The judge reminds another defendant that even a single sip can cost you your freedom. It's almost like we're watching a public service announcement, except this one's real, raw, and happening in a courtroom.